Hello and welcome to You Don't Know What You Don't Know, Episode 3. In this episode, I'm going to show you a few free ways to make screencasts without a tablet. I'm going to show you a great new sketching website, show you a wonderful new Google tip that's super important, as well as a bunch of other tech tips, and I'm also going to show you a few articles that will help you be a smarter technology integrator. First, there's this great new sketching website. It doesn't really have a name, but it's at this web address, which I'll post. Maybe it's Project Harmony. And what it allows you to do is just pick certain brushes and sketch right in your browser. It doesn't require any special plugin, and it gives you a few great sketching options. So it allows you to make these great sketches that are pretty fun to make, and then you can clear at any time and restart. So if I want to draw something else again, it's pretty fun. I can then save this, and it gives me an image that I can right-click on and save. It's a really clean website, lots of fun, might be helpful for simple logos or for diagramming. Second, there's this really important Google tip that coming up at the end of the month, new Google accounts, new Gmail accounts will not be able to use the active sync protocol. This doesn't mean much for everybody technically, but many of you do use Gmail, and when you set it up on your iPhone or your iPad, you also said sync calendar when you set up that account. When you do that, if you've done that, it should continue working for a while, but if you set up a new account, those will not work. Instead, they recommend using CalDAV and CardDAV, CalDAV for calendar and CardDAV for contacts. I'll post the link to this article which explains the full situation as well as how to switch over. I also recommend switching over to CalDAV and CardDAV because it's a much better way to sync your contacts. The contacts sync a lot faster, and I found it's just a lot more reliable than ActiveSync. Third, many of you have been playing around with making screencasts on an iPad, which I've been doing too, and I really like it, but sometimes I don't have an iPad, and there are certain limitations even to my favorite recording app, EduCreations. I'll post the link to my iPad screen recording post. But if you don't have an iPad or you want to just use your desktop, you don't really need a stylus or your finger to do anything, there are some great websites that don't require any you don't have to download it and install anything, it's all done in your browser. There's this great site called Screencast-O-Matic where you can go and you can hit record and record everything you have and then download the file. There's another one called Screener which works really well. And then also there is this program which is only for Windows, but it's a free program called Cam Studio which I've used for years, which allows you to record your screen. It gives you total control, so it's a ton of options. It's only really for advanced users, but it's free and it works really well. It's also open source. Next, there's some tech tips I'd like to share with you. First one is this great article on how to use an iPad, describing the iPad workflow for the classroom when you want to tie together Google Drive, which all of you have access to at St. Johnsbury Academy through your SCJ Labs account, as well as tying in Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. So it's a great way to tie them all together so that you can automatically have your iPad save the documents that you're opening in Pages, Keynote, and Numbers to Google Drive. Next, it is possible to run Windows in a box on your Mac computer. What VirtualBox does, it allows you to run a piece of software, and then that piece of software looks like this, and you can install operating systems inside the software. It's kind of neat because sometimes you don't have access to certain programs in one operating system. For example, we know that Edline behaves differently. It has a Mac version, but sometimes you just want to use the Windows version, and this is what it looks like. So when I'm running VirtualBox, I have this window running Windows XP right here. And I can use this just like I use Windows XP, run Internet Explorer, do anything I want in a self-contained window. It's really useful if I have programs that only run in Windows. The nice thing too is that VirtualBox is totally free. Next is a tech tip for how to find your Wi-Fi password. Sometimes you forget your Wi-Fi password and you don't really remember how to dig into your router to get it. This is an article describing how you can get your Wi-Fi password if you have one device, a Windows machine that is on the network. It's a little program you can run and it gets you your password. Super helpful. Next is a plugin for Mac that allows you to have tabbed browsing. What this means is at the top here, these are all tabs for my browser. You can add tabs to your Finder window. So now I have tabs right here across my Finder window. It's really nice because it allows me to bounce back and forth through all of my files in multiple tabs. Next is a great website on the very famous Larry Verlazo Websites of the Day page. Super famous guy, and he made a great post at the end of the year, kind of a meta post, posting links to lists of best iPad apps. One of them is a great link to a list of all the best iPad apps for teachers. There's lots of these lists, but I find that his recommendations are particularly useful. Next, a few things that can help you be a better technology integrationist. Well, that's a pretty poor term, I guess, but to use technology in your classroom more effectively would be a better way to say it. One of them is that Google has just opened up registration for advanced power searching. The class starts on January 23rd, and it's a great way to learn more about how you can make better and perform better searches using Google. Also, the Next Web, a wonderful source of news and primarily technology. They're running some classes through the Next Web Academy, and these are free and have some great topics like gamification. So definitely recommend checking these out. I guess these you have to pay for, but some of them have been free in the past. Next is a great rubric for evaluating how you're using educational technology in your class. You can download it at this link I will post, and it's a wonderful matrix that helps you understand where you are and where you can go with educational technology. If you ever want to learn more about fair use, what it is to take something that is copyright and turn into something new that you can actually use, there's a great new news happening that came up a couple days ago where this man had a video that a very famous fair use video that's actually been used as has been made an example of in Congress, actually all over the place, as a perfect example of fair use, and he was just embroiled in a takedown notice from who were claiming to be the rights holders, even though it was a prime example of perfect fair use. So you can read all about this here. It's very interesting if you want to learn about fair use. The update, which he posted on another page, is that 48 hours after the post came up on January 9th, they put his video back up, but it's very interesting if you want to learn about fair use. Next is an article on Wired UK about how teenagers without web access are left educationally disadvantaged, which is not super surprising. The blurb here is not too comprehensive, but you can drill down into the statistics right there. Last, because I can't not reference Lifehacker at least once in these episodes, one post they made is how you can build custom Macs. Many people don't realize that you can actually build your own Mac computer, and they list 3 different builds that they recommend. So for you advanced users out here, there's some great hardware that's suggested. And last, as we're in a new year, even though we just bought a bunch of stuff, we might be thinking we're going to get some more good deals. Lifehacker also made a great post about when is the best time to buy anything during the year. Well, that's it for episode 3 of You Don't Know What You Don't Know. I hope you learned something useful. Thanks.